Today we're going to be looking at the Olight Baton III Pro. Now the Baton III Pro is an upgrade to the S1R Baton II, and it's also the latest model in the Baton III lineup. Because if you didn't already know, there's been a couple of releases of Baton IIIs in the past. Coming out first was the Little Mini Original Baton III, which is a very compact EDC light that has 1200 lumens and has a max runtime of 20 days by itself. And then they came out with a premium edition, which essentially was the Baton III with an included charging case. Now this charging case is able to extend the life of the Baton III by 3.7 times. If the max runtime on this is 20 days, this would make it roughly 90 days when you pair the light with the charger. Now, the Baton III Pro takes it a step further. Instead of having a max lumen output of 1200, its max lumen output is 1500. And instead of its max runtime being 20, or even with the charging case with the Baton III Premium, 90 days, the Baton III Pro has a max runtime of 120 days. It's pretty remarkable. Another thing to note about this is that it also features a proximity sensor. So if it accidentally turns on in your pocket, it's less likely to burn a hole through it. Because what happens is the light will, if it's set on turbo, it'll step down when it senses that there's an object close to the lens. So without further ado, let's open her up. Okay, so this is some standard packaging from Olight, very similar to Warrior Mini 2. Comes with a instruction card as well as an instruction card as well as the manual. It has a carrying case. It has the magnetic charger. And what's also interesting is that it does come with this L dock, or this L mount. What this is used for is there's a little adhesive on the back of it. And so you can either mount it, you can either stick it to a wall, and then since the light is magnetic, it allows you just to like stick the light to the wall, just for easy access. Got a couple of warnings here, and then of course we have the light itself. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the light out. It's a very nice finish. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the plastic film that's covering the battery. Okay. Alright. So taking a look at the battery, this is an 18650, but it's not a standard 18650, it's a customized one by Olight. You can tell by the dual contact points, one in the center and then one on the outer ring. So you can see in there, I don't know if you can see in there, there's a spring in there, as well as a spring in the head. So you got springs at both contact points of the battery. So if you drop this thing, it'll absorb the shock. And this thing is IPX8 rated, and it's rated up to 1.5 meters as the drop rating. Put this back on. Okay, so one thing I really like about this is the switch. Now the switch does have a battery status indicator. So if it's blinking red, it's less than 5%. If it's solid red, then it's like 5 to 10%, and then if it's orange, it's like 10 to 60%, and then green is above 60%. Now I kind of wish that the orange would have a smaller range, because 10% is really low. I mean, you can, whether it's 50%, there's a big difference between 50% and 10%, I think. But this thing also features a two-way clip, so that you can clip it either lens up or lens down, depending on just how you want to carry it. Now there are 5 brightness levels, and there's a strobe mode as well. Now one thing I should mention about this is that about this switch that I like is that it's not easy to turn it on. It's not only is it recessed, but there's a little play on the top of it that requires you to push significantly harder, like intentionally hard, so that you don't accidentally turn it on in your pocket or something like that. But if you do accidentally turn it on, the proximity sensor should limit the damage it does. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you the modes. So what Olight does is, with a lot of their lights, is they allow you to access the moonlight setting, which is half a lumen in this case, from the off position by holding down the switch. So this is actually the moonlight setting, which is half a lumen. Now if I bump it up one notch, this is actually going to be 15 lumens, and at this rate it'll run for 100 hours. So if we can bump it up one more time, so this is 120 lumens, and this will actually run for 17 hours at this brightness, which is actually pretty good. This is a fair amount of light coming through. Bumping it up one more time, so this is going to be 600 lumens. And it can actually run at this level for 180 minutes, which is over 2 hours. Now to get to turbo, you simply double click on the switch. So this is turbo, which is the full 1500 lumens. Now obviously you can see the proximity sensor at work here, because when I shine it away it'll get brighter, but then when I bring it back it dims quite a bit. See that? Now to get to strobe, you're going to be triple clicking the switch. See? So that's your strobe. Now this particular model is the cool white, but it also comes in a neutral white, which is a warmer color. But I prefer the cool white because it does, at least it appears to be brighter. So I tend to prefer cool white color temperatures. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the charger, and then I'm going to take it outside and show you what it can do. Alright guys, I'm out here with the Baton III Pro, and I'm going to be showing you this light out, some beam shots out here. Now just to give you some context, this tree right here, this close tree, is about 10 yards out. This tree down here a little bit further down is going to be about 30 yards out, and then the tree in the center is going to be a little over 50 yards out. So I got the Baton 3 Pro here, so I'm going to try this thing out on its lowest setting by just holding it down. So this is really only good for up close and personal kind of work. I'm going to go ahead and bump it up one to 15 lumens. So this is 15 lumens. You could see a little something in the tree at 10 yards out, but not much beyond that. I'm going to go ahead and raise it one level. This is 120 lumens. At this rate, it'll go for 17 hours. So it lights up the 10-yard tree nicely. It's a little hard to make out on the 30-yard tree, and I can't really see anything at the 50-yard marker. Let's go ahead and bump it up one level. So this is 600 lumens. Lights up the 10-yard tree very nicely. Lights up the 30-yard tree pretty good as well. And I'm sure it makes it out to the 50-yard tree. Yeah, it makes it out to the 50-yard tree. Now to get to turbo, I double click on it. So this is turbo, the full 1500 lumens. Washes out the 10-yard tree. Really lights up the 50-yard or 30-yard tree. And yes, it does get the 50-yard tree nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the strobe feature. So if I triple click. So if I triple click on this, 1, 2, 3, that's the strobe feature. Alright, so you like this kind of content? Give me a like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.